welcome everyone. Allen Cox here. This is a John Deere LT-155 lawn tractor, manufactured 1998 through 2001. This unit has the Freedom 42 mulching deck. It also has the John Deere Nanny-State Sue Me Because You're Too Stupid to Look Before You Back Up Over Your Toddler safety switch, or so it's called. With that, when you want to reverse with the blade on, you have to press this momentary contact switch in. There's a way to turn this back into a traditional mower that you can reverse while mowing without pushing a stupid button. Really seems more distracting to me, because really, when you have to look at that switch and not look backwards so much, whatever, if you're that stupid anyway, you're going to keep looking forward. If you're an idiot that don't look before you back up, then don't disable this switch or do it at your own risk. Don't cry to me when you back over your kid, your dog, your house, or your car, and don't try to sue John Deere. Another thing I don't like is the headlights being on all the time, because it's all about safety, you know, and you not being able to sue John Deere for your low IQ. I won't say I'm the brightest bulb in the pack, but I sure can back a mower safely by turning my head and looking behind me anyway. I don't need headlights in the daytime either. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do to gain access to my switches is remove this battery. These batteries have straps on them that hold them in on these John Deeres. Take that off. Now if you'll look up in here, you can see this momentary switch. That's your blade safety switch there. I've marked my wires. I'm going to show you guys the quick way to do this is to put a wire clip and short out that connector. Just like that. Pretty easy. Then just tie your wires together and put it somewhere where it won't be in the way. But I'm going to do a permanent fix on this one, because I'm going to install a horn and a light switch, and I'm going to use these cables, or these connectors. Now I'm going to strip these 3 wires and tie them together. And I'm going to heat shrink it, put some heat shrink insulation on it afterwards. Just like that. And then your wires are all secured together, and that's a permanent fix for that blade safety switch. Okay, I'm going to remove my momentary switch here. And for this top hole that we're going to use, it has a clip and insert. We'll just pop that out of there with a flathead screwdriver. Okay, our turtle has brought us what we need to do this. We're going to use our original momentary switch for the horn. And we have a light switch to turn our lights on and off. This is our horn. I ordered this from Napa. Okay, this is my light switch, but I have a little problem with the form factor of this. The way this top thing here is, it has an indentation to it and my shaft is not long enough to come through there and make it to the other side where I can bolt it in. So what I'm going to do is locate my momentary switch up here. I'm going to hollow that out a little bit with a drill bit and just mount my momentary switch right there, and then use my hole for the original momentary mounting there for my light switch. So I'll get that reamed out a bit and then be able to mount my switch in there. Makes quite a mess. Okay, what I'm going to do here is try to show you how I'm wiring this thing. I'm going to have my power coming in off of the headlight positive side to this original connector on the momentary switch right here. Now when I press my momentary switch, that's going to power my horn. And you see I'm grounding that off to the chassis of the lawnmower. And now my other power lead is going to run to my headlight switch. When I pull my headlight switch out, that should activate my headlights. And that's the basic premise of the whole thing. I'll put this schematic online with a download link in the description if you want to download that. Pretty simple, not too bad. You just need some wire and some connectors, some spade connectors. Okay, this is the headlight wire that runs to the headlights, the positive side, the yellow wire. And this is where I'm gonna start with my harness here. I'm gonna unhook my headlight connector, break my line there, and then strip my wire. I like those new Harbor Freight wire strippers I got there. Very cool for the price, work very well. Now I'm going to connect my yellow wire to my wire that's going to send power up to my switches there to operate my horn and my lights. And then my return switch for the headlights is going to hook up right here. That'll power my headlights when I turn the switch on. I'm going to solder these up real nice. And I have some heat shrink insulation. And that's going to secure my connections there. I think I'm also going to put this in some conduit. I'm going to tie my wires up with some zip ties. Cut those off there. Okay, now I'm going to drill a hole for my horn to go in. That should fit in between that cavity there. It's pull back on the side plastic there a little bit, and you can work it in there. Now my ground wire is going to connect to the back of this mount. You pretty much don't need a wrench to do that. Just get it started. You can kind of twist it tight on there. Kind of want to get it to where you want to have your wires situated too. Then I'm going to run my ground wire around and connect that to one side of the horn there. Okay, I have my headlight connector hooked up. I run some conduit for this wire to give it some protection running back. I've run out my wire for my horn there, my horn switch. Now I'm about ready to install my switches here. I'll hook up the positive side of my horn here. That comes from my momentary switch, the original blade safety switch. I'm going to stick that blade safety switch in there now known as my horn switch. Now I'm going to mount my headlight switch in that original hole for the momentary switch, and you're going to have to put a pretty good size washer over the top of that because that hole's a little bit bigger than the headlight switch's shaft there. Now I'm going to put my knob on, just screw it on there, and everything's all wired up and looking good. One thing you want to be sure to do is tie these wires back on the top, because when you engage your blade you don't want that to be smacking those wires and wearing them out. You see I've run my conduit down. Everything looks good. I'm hooked up to my horn right there. I'm going to put a zip tie right there to hold those wires. You see I'm running in right here with my headlight wire, my original wire coming out. I plug my headlights up and it all looks good. Okay, let's do a test and see if we can run our blades here and still back up without the engine cutting off. Engage this blade here. Awesome. Now I should be able to have control of my headlights. And I do. Very nice. I just don't want headlights burning all the time, so that solves that problem. Now I'll try out my horn. Go ahead. Okay, these things also make great mules. If you ever run across one the deck don't work on, you can get the engine to run pretty good. They actually make pretty good trips through the woods. Take you on a little trail I got cut out here. This part right here goes down pretty good. It's a pretty good grade. I'm hoping I can get back out of here. I'm actually sliding down the hill on dry leaves right now. More than I'm rolling, I think. There's the deer corn feeder. Yes, we can skin a buck and run a trout line. Now, getting up this hill might be a little bit difficult. I've never actually been down this far with this lawnmower before. With this tractor, you might say. Now, going back uphill now, this didn't work out as good. I had to get several running starts to get all the way back up this hill. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And eventually I lost my camera. Destroyed my camera, as a matter of fact, I think. No picture on it after that. Anyway, I got stuck and had to get something to pull myself out there. But I got back out of the woods. Back towards the house. I love this horn. Okay, well that's putting a light switch and a horn on a John Deere LT 155 and disabling that Nanny-State blade safety switch. This is my John Deere nightlight. Just put a new neon bulb in that. This is a light box HIPAA sent me for Christmas. I think it's pretty cool. Well, thanks for joining me. I hope this helps you out with your John Deere tractor.